Well, we love that song, so I'm delaying just a second. I love it. Anyway, I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And we love having you with us because this is Home Wizards, where we talk about things to help you enjoy your life more, enjoy your home more.
That's
right. We call it life improvement.
You know what we do here? We improve your home and improve your life.
We do, because it can be that simple.
We don't
as,
actually do it. We just help you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could be something that you do yourself, or you might hire it done. You know?
I don't know why you wouldn't. If it's overwhelming, then bring somebody in to do it.
And it might be getting a new front door.
Could be your husband. He might do things.
He might
anybody.
do anybody.
Anybody you want.
So what about this front door? I mean, you decided that you needed a new front door, and I think a lot of us, we put it off because you kind of go, I'd rather do this.
It seems overwhelming.
I'd rather do that. You know?
And you know, you can get away, I did. You can get away with one that's inferior for quite some time, probably up to a year and a half, 2 years
so
before.
Talk about what happened.
Well, I was playing football with my kids, and of course, I threw a bullet to one of them, and it went right through their hands, and guess where it went? Right through the glass in the front door. So what I do, instead of replacing the glass, I actually put up 2 different devices. The first one was a piece of plywood, painted white, that covered the broken glass. The second one, I got embarrassed. I got to be able to see through the glass. So what I do, instead of replacing the door, a piece of plexiglass that I could see through.
Good.
So you could actually look through the broken glass to the plexiglass. Mm-hmm. It was a certain point later when I realized that friends that would come up to the door and go like, nice door, home improvement guy. What's the matter with you? The shoemaker's son clearly has no shoes, right? It was that. And then I remember the last straw was, you know how sometimes, you know, the Jehovah's Witness folks will come up and they made a comment like, what's the matter with your door?
No,
like,
did they really? Wait a minute.
I know. I was like, and then,
wait, they want something and they're criticizing
exactly.
your door.
The people that came to actually sell things or want things would start making.
You.
They were criticizing me. So what I do, I got a new front door.
I love it. And when we say new front door, not just painting the door, but a whole new front door.
Yes, and I'll tell you, and once you realize that it makes such an impactful difference, not only from the standpoint of cosmetics, obviously, because the front door changes the entire look, just like you had the experience with your garage door.
Right.
It's such a large surface area and such a focal point that when you do change it out, man, it just gussies the house up like crazy.
It's a total makeover, isn't it?
And not only that, but the insulation component to it for me, where my old front door, I bought the house with this old door on it, and there was like 1.5 inch clearance on the bottom.
Talk about your old door. It was a wooden door.
It was an old wooden door, and the people that lived there before tried to put an insulating gasket over it, but it didn't quite work out that well. And, you would just feel the cold or the hot air blowing through the bottom of the door. You could see light around the outside, the perimeter. There wasn't an effective seal. It was probably from the 50s, this door that was on there. And this new one, man, the way that it was installed, first of all, was incredible. The guys that did it, a guy named Adam from Aggressive Sash and Door, and then his friend
Ernie.
too, Ernie, came. And the way they install it, they've done so many of them, it's just like they pull the old thing out, even the casing, it all comes out, and then a whole new frame goes in, and the frame is caulked like crazy, so that that's the key with windows and doors. It's the caulking to kind of get any additional opening sealed up, because if you think about it, a nickel size hole in a door or a wall or a window ends up being like your whole door or window are wide open in terms of insulation with the cold and hot air. If you do an energy audit, you'll see like these areas that have these tiny little pinholes create such a deficit for your interior air climate that it's just overwhelming. So when this guy put the new door in and the seals and the gaskets that come with that Therma-Tru door are in place, when the door shuts, it goes like, like a brand new car door.
Yeah.
When you hear it shut, it just
vacuum tight.
Yeah, it's like vacuum tight.
Like you're now in some kind of a tunnel, right?
Yeah, and my heating and air conditioning actually stay in the house now so much more effectively just from this one replacement. So imagine if the whole windows are replaced. It's just such a huge difference in terms of the climate in your home. So,
and I couldn't believe the day that they installed it. It wasn't just about the installation. It was about the preparation. Talk about like what they did to clean out the area. They removed the old door, but then there was all this other stuff they had to do.
So you're not only taking the door off, but the frame comes out, the old frame, and then, you get a chance to realize that, these are just basically openings that are framed with lumber And then
they may be compromised too.
And they may be compromised, and that's a good time to see if there's any dry rot or some termite damage going on, which in my case, thank goodness I didn't have. But not only that, but the floor sill, when you walk through the threshold of the door, sometimes those are really compromised and water can either seep through, or in my case, the weather, the air, and the cold and the hot temperatures. And you realize that they aren't seated properly, right? So the new threshold from the new frame of the door is such a great seal that, there's shims with caulking and adhesive caulking also, so that when you step on it, it doesn't give or move around at all, but it's a complete replacement. So any divot that was there in the past where the threshold was compromised and water could seep in, now is like air and water tight. It's like
Amazing.
A boat almost.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, and then not to mention the operation of the door, the way it swings, and when you open it, when it first was installed, I mean, after you left, I was out there just like knocking and then opening the door, pretending people were coming, to visit and stuff over and over again, and it swings so pure and clean, and then when you shut it, it just
nice. It's almost like you're in the space shuttle.
It really is.
It's like closing you in and off you go.
That's right. And the thing that's really cool, what you realize in all the new technologies of these doors and windows, the attention to detail as it pertains to the gaskets and the sealing of all the little areas where wind and weather could get in, it's just such a different thing than from when, even like 10 years ago when I used to install these things, myself. Mm-hmm. The technology is completely different. It's changed. It's so much better.
And talk about the selection of the door, because the door you chose, it's not a wood door. It's a man-made door.
And this is interesting. So, my front door is exposed to some weather, and I don't have an overhang, so sun will beat down on that door. And my old one, you could tell because of the weather hitting it all the time, from rain to sun and colder temperatures, it expands and contracts, and that's how wood is, right?
Oh, I see.
So over years and years and years, this will start to crack, and you'll start to see little micro fissures in where all the seams are supposed to be clean and perfect, and what that does is it enables moisture from rain to get in underneath and inside, and the door can swell more. And then consequently, swelling and contracting over and over again makes your paint start to chip and crack and peel, right? So it's just maintenance, constant maintenance. You'd have to paint the thing every couple of years. Well, with this, because it's fiberglass, it's one and done. Like, I'll never have to do anything again. And by the way, speaking of fiberglass, much stronger than a traditional wood door. I dare any crazy thief to try and kick his way through my door. Why? ACL injury right away. You're going to get ligament damage. You're going to get, it's going to be bad. Don't even try it. You can't get through this.
They're going to be in a lot of hurt.
They're going to be in a lot of hurt. They'll be wearing a leg brace, and I'll say, that guy limping there,
that's how you
he tried to kick my door down.
I love that. You're a Crime Stopper.
That's right. Crime prevention. It's not only that, it's crime prevention too. But to the fiberglass, once you paint it, it either can come painted, stained, or colored. In my case, I had them painted at the factory.
Brick red.
So it's brick red.
It looks gorgeous. No, deck red. Deck red.
Deck red,
But it looks like a brick.
It's a kind of a deep brick color,
Right.
So when they spray it at the factory, it's sprayed with a HVLP compressor, so it looks like a car body finish. It's perfect.
And it has some glass.
Got a little bit of glass, and I went sort of a craftsman style. It kind of works with the design of my house. And so there's many different pattern styles and glass patterns you can get. You can get obscured glass if you want. I opted for clear because mine is up high. Mm-hmm. So
bring some light in.
I can bring light in. I can see who's at the door there to criticize my door this time.
They're not going
to criticize it now because it's brand new and fancy.
They're going to be envious. So check it out. You can see Eric's door at yourhomewizards.com. What a wonderful door. Eric Stormer, Cindy Dole. You're listening to Home Wizards.